Happy Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to week number 7. Excuse me. It's definitely a Monday morning, but we're going to take a look at what's going on this week. We're, like I said, week 7, so we are pretty much exactly halfway through the course. Spring break is fast approaching, which is always a good time. So let's take a look at the syllabus first, of course, as usual, and check out where we are. We are in the technical writing portion of the course. And last week, the piece that was due was the definition. This week, you are going to be writing your technical description. And just like the previous one, of course, all of these smaller individual documents are going to eventually be revised and placed in the final portfolio. But you also, if you're playing your cards right, may be able to use them as pieces within the formal analytical report. So I know that, excuse me, I kept getting a lot of questions over the week about what to do and picking a topic and all of that stuff. The reality is I cannot pick for you. I can talk about it again, and I'm going to talk about it again, but essentially you have to choose what you want to write about. So I strongly suggest keeping something either from what you want to study in college going forward. If you're going to, you're going to transfer and work on a bachelor's degree, you can focus on that. You can focus on what you want to do for a job, for a career down the road. Or you can even pick something that you're just interested in. Anything that you want to write about, you can use in technical writing. Technical writing, and we've read about it in the textbook, is used to create much of the time instructional materials. You have no doubt encountered technical writing. In fact, I would argue that every textbook that you have ever read in school is a piece of technical writing. It is informative, it gives you information, and it is organized in a way that you are, things are broken down into smaller pieces so that for understanding. So definition was last week, description is this week, and the next week is instructions. And I think the the instruction part is probably maybe the easiest. So maybe next semester I'll flip them, but typically this is how you see it whenever you learn about technical writing, is this order. So that's where we are. We're in the middle of that. So let's go ahead and go over to the actual module and take a look at it. Let me turn on in student view. All right, so like I said, we're in week 7. So for the learning materials this week, I do have another link to 2 things that should be helpful. So if you were confused about the description last week, if you get, or just definition last week, if you get confused about the description this week, there are 2 things that are going to be helpful to you. Obviously is, of course, the reading assignment. So you do want to do that. In this particular week, from chapter 4 and all of chapter 5, it's the same for week 6, 7, and 8. But that's where the information is. And then this is a link that's actually in the textbook, but I felt like it might be a good idea to link it here. This will give you example documents for all of the kinds of things that we're looking at. So this particular section, it takes you directly to where it talks about instructions, policies, and procedures, but you've got samples for all kinds of things in here. Formal technical reports. These are going to be more of your lengthy reports. Technical specifications. This is going to be more directed things like you might do for a definition or description. Here's something specifically on descriptions, which of course is what we're working on this week. And so please make use of this. This is the one where there's definition. And I find it helpful to see a sample. So this is where you would go to locate those. Let me move this so I can actually see what I'm doing. The other thing, the other document that I want you to really pay attention to is this link. And I know maybe you missed it because it's right underneath other materials, but this is the one where I broke down the various pieces that you're going to be doing, and how to deal with the sample, with the visuals and the documentation. Like all of the stuff is broken down here. It even has sample topics to get you started, depending on your field of interest. But there's no one right answer that I can give on how to do this, or how long it should be, or any of those other things. And I wish I could be more helpful with that, but we can talk about it. But you also need to do some thinking about, well, what is my main topic? Because if I don't even know what your main topic is, I can't help. So please make use of those. And then, of course, your assignment this week is the description. Create a document describing an important artifact related to your field of choice. An artifact does not have to be something that was dug up by an archaeologist. It should probably be something tangible. It could be a concept, but doing something physical and tangible like a piece of equipment is going to make it a lot easier for you. You have the ability to choose from any area of interest. So it doesn't have to be something that you are officially studying in school or that you are going to do for a career. This also, of course, has a link back to that technical page. It does need to have APA format and documentation. It does need to have at least 2 visuals. And then, of course, sufficient development to cover your topic. That's why I can't tell you how long it's going to be. I know it's frustrating, but this is exactly why this class is useful, because this is the kind of stuff that you have to do in your job and in some aspects of school, certainly in anything that you want to do just for yourself. So if you got questions, please ask them, but also be prepared to give me a lot of information, and try to ask questions in as specific a way as possible so that I can be of more help. Now, several of you have asked about the visuals and how to caption those. So I am going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to open a Word document. So let me do that. See if I've got something that would work. I'm just going to open, got a sample paper that I've been, that I use for a different class, but it's already set up in APA. Let me see if I can find it. So let me use that as a sample here. So let me open that. All right, so you are now looking at a Word document. And this is an argumentative paper. Like I said, this is for a different class. It's even for a different college. But this is set up like a research paper. This is not necessarily in report format. But this will give me a couple of chances to show you like how to put in a visual, something of that nature. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and save as, and we're going to call this sample with visuals or ENC 2210. All right, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and change this so it look right for you guys. And then since I've saved this document, I will also attach it so that you could potentially use it as a template. Department of English, Lake Sumter State College. We are in ENC2210, which is technical, professional communication, I think is the official title, might be writing. Anyway, good enough. And then let's go ahead and change this to today's date. Which is not February 18th. That's weird. I don't know why it would default to that. Anyway, little surprises around every corner. It's just like Willy Wonka. All right. So remember, we've gone over before how to do the headings and subheadings. So let's add one just so that we can remind ourselves. We would not want our subheadings to be indented. So let's move that back over to the regular margin and let's put in a heading, heading one, heading level one. Okay, so this is what that might look like. I would always have a space after it so that it is not all crowded up against it. And then let's say that we also want to add a visual. So first, we would need to find a visual. I'm not gonna reshare the internet just because sharing double things is difficult anyway. So I'm gonna put a visual in here and I'm going to move it back over here. I'm going to say, all right, let's insert a photo and I'm just going to pick, oh, let's do a stock image. Let's see if we can have Word help us with that. Let's do jury, since this is a paper about juries. All right, so let's choose this. Now, this particular image should already have data associated with it since it is provided by Word and it is a stock image. So I do not have to, I didn't find this on the website, so I don't need to cite it in that same sense. But I do still need to, caption it. So we are going to use the, we're going to use Word to do it. If I can get it to work right. Where is it at? Okay, so this would be figure 1 jury box. Let's just call that. And then I could make this smaller if I wanted to. You can leave it this large. That's absolutely fine. Although it does do weird things to the spacing, but it's okay. You're not going to get it small enough, I don't think, to fit on that previous page because there's not a lot of room left. Let's see. Let's make it teeny tiny and see. Yeah, but then the caption moves to the next page. There we go. I would not suggest having something that small in here, but okay. If I found something online that I wanted to use in addition to jury box, I would have, let's say I have this from a website. And let's say it was from the person who wrote the article or the page was by Brown and it was 2022, whatever. Okay. So I would have that. And then I would have a corresponding item on my references page. So let's add one. I'm going to make this up, but that way you can see what it would look like. So this is Brown. His first name is Fred. The article title was Jury Duty Isn't a Favorite. And then it's from, let's say it's from CNN's website. CNN, comma, we would have the date right here, sorry. Oh, let me double check. Citing from a website. We don't do it as much. So I have to look it up. By the way, free APA citations. I have recommended scribber.com. There are others, but I always search for free because most of the citation generators, they are giving you free MLA, but most of them don't give free APA. And I'm sorry I'm not sharing this behind the scenes, but again, sharing multiple things just ends up being annoying. All right, so with an APA citation, I need the author, the date, the website, and then, okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure before I steered you guys the wrong direction. So then we would have retrieved. And then I'm just going to make this up because I didn't use a real one. Oops. Now, I do not need a date that it was retrieved on because it has a date. If there was no date, I would also add a date there at the end. All right, there you go. And I hope you can see when I do things like this, I don't have these rules memorized either. It's impossible to memorize all the things that you need to memorize in order to fully cite your sources. The main thing you need to remember is that you need to cite your sources. Once you remember that, then you can use all the tools available to you to do it, to cite those resources. Our library does a fabulous job on the Citation Center of creating guides. Another website that is highly respected for that is the OWL, the Online Writing Lab at Purdue University. And APA does have their own website. So there's plenty of information on how to do it. It's just mostly a matter of being diligent and making sure that if you find something anywhere that you're going to be citing it. All right. So I hope that helps. I will share that so that you can utilize it. I know that the sample and the template provided by the library also has information and samples of cited and included visuals. So that is another good resource to take a look at. All right. So I hope to see some wonderful descriptions this week, and I will talk to you next Monday. Oh, one other quick word. This week, I am going to be gone. I'm going to be busy Wednesday all the way till Sunday. So I will still be answering emails and still be answering texts and still be doing all the things, but it may be slower than usual. So if you need me, please reach out. I am available, but I am going to be busy doing stuff. So I will see you next Monday.